What's up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I seriously just spent like the last almost 30 minutes recording and streaming with no volume. So, here we go again. Let us go ahead and get started. You guys, I am doing general readings. Please keep that in mind. So they may not resonate with everybody. Let's just jump in it because now I am behind schedule. So let's just get to it, Aries. Let's see what's going on with you. What is going on with Aries over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week? What's going on with Aries? Right, Aries, you have the Three of Wands. So with the Three of Wands, you are in a situation where you may be waiting on some sort of communication. You're kind of keeping to yourself until you receive this communication. This is kind of your main focus. There's something that you need to know before you can move forward. And until then, you are feeling stuck. Or you are stuck. You may actually be stuck. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. Okay, let's see. Aries, you have the Queen of Cups here. So you are feeling very strongly, very emotional, very attached to whomever you may be in relationship with, or kind of starting to see. The emotion you feel in regards to this person is very, very strong. And since this is so strong, it can very easily shift into some negative actions and negative behaviors, getting a little over emotional when it's not necessary. So that's also something that you may be struggling with. Perhaps this has come between you and another person, the way you communicate and interact, etc. But sometimes you have to go through these things. You know, if you open up communication and try to be as least emotional as possible, and what I mean is like trying to detach from the way you feel about the situation so that you can discuss the way you feel about the situation without getting too worked up. Those of you who are single, some of you don't really have the best perception of relationships right now. If anything, you may be in an anti-relationship vibe, just like complaining. You may be one of those people right now that really kind of goes off about how relationships are worthless and etc., etc. And you know what it really comes down to is that the ones you've been involved with have not worked out. And so it has kind of painted love and relationships in a very, very negative light. And so you may be very negative, very petty about this stuff. Like, you got a lot of attitude. You got a lot of attitude. It's because you got a lot of emotion. And they're not all good. So that may be something that you have to work on getting back to a place where you're open to love and there's like this less like that you have behind it. I would like to emphasize that not all of this energy is negative. Like, the Queen of Cups is a very loving card, and you and your partner could be in a very loving place right now, a very loving place without drama. But it is important to note the drama aspect of things as well. So let's move on to Taurus. Again, we're going to try to move through these quickly since I spent 25 minutes streaming with no volume and I'm behind schedule now. So let's go ahead and let's see what's going on with Taurus. Let's get a card for Taurus to see what energy Taurus will encounter. Taurus, you have the Magician. So right now you're really focused on making your dreams a reality. And even if it's not your dreams and desires, your ideas, there's things that you need to do, things that you want to achieve, and you're really focused on bringing that stuff into reality. This is something that maybe with some people you've been fighting really hard for a very long time. And you're going to keep fighting, you know, because you have your mindset, you have the goal set, like you're going to make this happen no matter how difficult it is to achieve. This has got to happen. You feel it deep within you, like this, you got to make this happen. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What kind of energy will Taurus encounter in their love life over the next week? What is going on with Taurus in their love life over the next week? Taurus, you have the Empress. So some of you may be entering into a new relationship, or maybe you've just met somebody, you really, really like them. You really, really like them. You feel like you very much connect to them. And you could see having an actual relationship with them in the future. But this is just the beginning stages. You're not trying to rush into anything. Those of you who may be in a relationship or a situationship, if you're not wanting to have any kids, wrap it up. Wrap it up, take the necessary precautions, take the plan B, you know, make sure you take the necessary precautions to prevent pregnancy if that is not something that you are ready for. Because some of you may already be pregnant, and perhaps that is something you're going through now, just dealing with the pregnancy, you and your partner. You can be a kind of a bitch sometimes, but whatever, your partner's understanding, hopefully. Most of them are, you know. Some of you may have already had children recently, like maybe recently you've given birth. But you're entering into a new phase in your love life. Things are going to change. So if you, like say if you and your partner have been having a very difficult time in your relationship, I really feel like some of you are going to get to a place where you decide, okay, we're going to stick together, we're going to work this out. No matter how hard it gets, we're going to make this happen because this is important. This is very, very important. It's not easy, it's very, very difficult, but, you know, being in a long-term relationship is never really easy. It takes work. Like, even if your relationship goes along smoothly, the partnership you have takes work. You got to put work into it. So, perhaps you didn't really have that element present in your relationship before, but it's becoming present now. So that's cool. Let's see what's going on with Gemini. What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week? What is going on with Gemini? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week? Gemini, you have the King of Pentacles right now, so you really are focused on getting your shit together. You want to bring some stability in your life. You want to be able to provide yourself and those that depend on you with everything they need, and also the things that you want. That's something that's very important to you, because I feel like maybe in the past you haven't been in a place where you can give the people you love the things that they want, just because the situations, perhaps the financial situations and whatnot. Some of you are in boss mode at this point. Whether you have a job or not, you're in boss mode. You're taking things into control, and you are inspired by other people who have done the same. So it's like, this person did it, so I know I can do it. Like, I know I got this. I know I can do it. And maybe, you know, you're having a hard time, or maybe you have been having a hard time financially, with your stability and in your home life, but it's something that you are determined to get back in order and to get back on track with. Let's see what is going on in Gemini's love life. What's going on in Gemini's love life? Kind of energy will Gemini encounter in their love life over the next week? Gemini, you have the Seven of Swords. So very, very sneaky, very, very sneaky. There are things that you are not telling the person that you are with, the person that you're seeing. You're holding back. You're not opening up all the way. And if it's not that you're not opening up all the way, there are some things going on that you are hiding from them. And because you know that the truth hurts, you know, so there's just some things that you don't want to deal with. However, some of you are going to be forced to deal with this stuff, because there are people who just intuitively know when somebody's not being honest. They notice all the signs. So it's like, you may be in a position where somebody calls you out on your bullshit, and some of you will double down and, you know, try to maintain your position, but others of you will take that opportunity to let it out. Because it's like, maybe before you didn't really know when it would be the right time. Well, the time is now. So it's time to reveal the betrayal. Like, so if you're in a situation where you have been seeing multiple people, but you're supposed to be committed to one person, that's going to come out. That truth is going to come out by either you confessing or you being in a situation where you're just like, I can't hide this stuff anymore. I can't keep doing this. Like, if you have been committed to somebody, it's like you care enough about them to recognize that this is something that cannot continue. It can't move forward this way. If you are single and not dating, a huge reason that you're not dating is because you don't want to open up. You're not in a place where you feel okay with opening up and connecting with somebody on that level. So you're just kind of hiding behind a guise. There are just a lot of secrets here. There are a lot of secrets. And perhaps if you're single and not dating, there are a lot of secrets that have been illuminated to you, just like in the aftermath or intuitively. Because sometimes we don't see things when we're in them. We don't understand when we're in them. It's not till later, where we're not all caught up in the emotions, that we do understand. And that could be later in a week, or that could be later in years. It really just depends on your situation. And sorry to make anybody feel negative about the whole years things, but I can attest to that being a reality. Something could have happened like 20 years ago that you finally gain a better understanding of, let's say, today. You know, and you understand why this happened. You understand the emotions that were involved. It all becomes clear. So some of you, you know, that stuff it's coming up. You can't hide from it. Hello, Tess. Welcome. Thank you for showing up and showing love. Moving on to Cancer. What is going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Cancers? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? Seven of Cups. So with the Seven of Cups, you may be in your head a lot, kind of thinking about all the different scenarios, all the possible scenarios. Perhaps you have a decision to make, you have a bunch of options in front of you, or you have a bunch of things that you need to take into consideration before you make this decision. Definitely be sure to take careful, very careful and detailed consideration in regards to this, because you don't want to make the wrong decision. Sometimes things look good, but they're not, you know, and sometimes you don't find out until way later that they're not good. So you got to be careful to make sure that you are seeing the big picture, that you're not in one of those situations where it's like things looked really good, the option looked like it was really going to benefit you, and then you get involved and then the situation blows up in your face. So it's kind of like, let's take time to think about this. Some of you are doing a lot of daydreaming in the process of considering all the possibilities. Like, think a lot. Like, okay, if I do this, this, and this, and this could happen, how do I feel about that? If I make this choice, this, this, and this could happen. You know, is that what I want? Stuff like that. Let's see what is going on in your love life, Cancer. Can I get a card, please, for Cancer's love life? What is going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? Man, I really wish I hadn't spent all that time with no volume, because there was some good stuff that came through. Okay. We have Seven of Cups again. And so we got Seven of Cups from two different decks. So yeah, be very careful about these decisions. Very careful about your choices. Things may look one way and be the other. You could be involved in a situation where there's someone that you really connect with, that maybe this person doesn't live up to your expectations of what that person would look like, be like, and so maybe you just disregard that and go after something that looks like it would be more appropriate to what it is that you were striving for. Only later to find out that that person who looks more appropriate carries the energy that you thought the other person did, who you felt like in that moment just didn't align with what you were trying to achieve in your life or what you desire. You may be coming to the understanding and realization that, you know, one thing, it may look bad, but it could be good. Diamond in the rough, if you will. Or, you know, something that is just looks wonderful, beautiful, amazing, but just really blows up in your face. You're dealing with a very trifling person. Some of you have a very important decision to make about your current relationship. Like if you're in a long-term committed relationship, you have a very important decision to make that affects your partner. And this is a very delicate situation. I feel like with some of you, there has been issues from the past, some things that one person or another person has done that they regret and have remorse for, and you want to salvage this situation, but at the same time, there is a level of mistrust there because of the heartache that has occurred. So you're not entirely sure how you're going to handle this situation. And so in some cases, you may be holding back from opening up to whoever you are dealing with because you just don't feel safe. You don't feel comfortable. And you won't until their intentions become clear to you. But right now, they're cloudy. If you are single with nobody that you're seeing or anything, you're not dating, you are doing a lot of fantasizing, a lot of daydreaming. You are thinking a lot about past relationships or a past relationship, the good times, the freaky times, sometimes the bad times too, because it's like you got to remember not to idealize people who were really shitty because you just focus on the good memories. But I think right now you really just want to delve and swim around in those good memories. So you're really in your head. Even if you have people in front of you that are interested in you, people to choose from, I don't think you're really interested in any of them. You're more interested in fantasizing and daydreaming about things that have happened in the past. Yeah, so moving on. Like I said, I gotta make these short to stop myself from elaborating too much. Just because my time's limited, guys. That's the only reason why. Because I love giving y'all good readings. Sometimes they're an hour long, sometimes they're 2 hours long. I can never really tell. So let's see. Oh, we gotta change our banner before we move forward to Leo. Where my Leo's at? It's Leo season. Hey! Hashtag Team Leo. Alright, let's see what's going on with Leo over the next week. What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What's going on with Leo? Leo, you have the Justice card. So you have a decision to make, a very important choice. You are trying to be very careful about this decision. You don't want to focus too much on your emotions. You don't want to make an emotion-based choice, but at the same time, you don't want to be completely stuck in your logic phase. You want to still be connected to a certain level of intuition, because sometimes you can overthink things. You're trying to find a balance between that. You're trying to find a balance between the way you feel and the way you think, because it's there in that balance where your decision lies. Like maybe you don't know what choice you're going to make, but once you balance out those two things, okay, where you are, once you balance that out, that's the answer, that's the decision, that's the choice. Some of you may be involved with like contracts of some sort, signing contracts and whatnot. Be very careful about the fine print on these contracts. Take the time to read all the fine print, all the print, period, because sometimes we skip over the regular print too. So be sure to read everything thoroughly. Do not allow the pressure. Do not feel like you're in a hurry. Do not add the pressure or let the pressure of the people around you feeling like they're in a hurry stop you from reading all the fine print. That's what they're trying to do. Like, they're doing that on purpose because they don't want you to read the fine print. They want to be able to bust out later and be like, you agreed to this, see? It's right there, and you agreed to this, when you don't realize that you did because you didn't read all of it. So take that time. Be careful about any type of agreements or contracts that you get involved with right now. Okay. Let us see what is going on in Leo's love life over the next week, guys. The Leo energies just can't deal. I gotta make sure my mane looks okay. I'm joking. Okay, what's going on in Leo's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter in their love life over the next week? Leo, you have the Ace of Cups, so you're feeling very, very emotional. You're feeling very, very strongly. You know, both positive and negative emotions. Anything you feel at this moment is intensified. So if you love somebody, if you're in love, you are in love, you got the heart eyes, you're just like, oh, you know, your heart doesn't skip a beat. But that's because that's a good thing. You know, the whole heart skipping a beat thing actually isn't really a good thing. It's not what they make it out to be, you guys. The science behind it, it's, if anything, it's like your body warning you that something may not be 100% there. But if you are already in a committed relationship right now, you and your partner are doing really good, very much in love, very, you know, expressive with this. If you are in a situationship with somebody, you may be falling in love, you may be developing feelings and kind of freaked out because of how strongly you feel. You didn't expect to feel so strongly for this person, so it's really freaking you out. If you are single and you're not seeing anybody, you're still dealing with this emotion. Perhaps there's somebody that you have been with, that you still have you're still in love with them. Let's just be real. You're still in love with them, which is why you have no interest in dating, because like you're in love with somebody else. Anybody else would just be a distraction, you know, from the way you feel about somebody else. If there is any conflict, any sort of conflict between you and your partner, you guys could really get caught up in your emotions if you don't allow yourself to be balanced out by your reason. So the justice influence takes over here, because with the Ace of Cups, your emotions can really take you over, and in some cases blind you. And so you are in a place where you're trying to maintain your balance. You're trying to keep your foot on the ground so you don't float away. You don't want to get lost in the chaos of the way you feel to where you can't see what's really going on. That's really hard for you right now, I think, because you feel so strongly and you feel led by the way you feel. And that's why you're trying to like take a moment to stop and think. Okay. Move on to my Virgos. What is going on with Virgo over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What's going on with Virgo? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What's going on with my Virgos? Virgo. Okay, Virgo, we have the Eight of Swords here. So you feel stuck. You're in a situation where you feel like you can't make any progress, even if you wanted to. There are things that are getting in the way. They're preventing you from seeing all the details. And, you know, for a very detailed-oriented person, this can be very bothersome, very upsetting. And you just really feel stuck. You're not really seeing a way around this. I think there's something about the situation that you're not quite understanding or seeing. Like, there's a reason that you're stuck right now. You need to take this time to really think about what's going on, what it is you're trying to do, what you have done. You know, now is really kind of a good downtime, because sometimes life will put us in these situations where we can't make any progress with what we're trying to achieve. Things happen and there's really nothing you can do to move forward, and there's nothing you can do about that but kind of like wait the situation out. And with some people, it just drives you insane. It drives you insane because you want to make progress now, but you're looking at it wrong. You need to take a different look at it. You need to kind of think, okay, what is it about this moment? What can I get done in this moment that I can't usually do because things are going on. This area where I'm stuck usually keeps me pretty busy to where I can't do these other things. Well, now's the time to do them. Take the time to do them instead of sitting there and waiting, like waiting and waiting and waiting and watching the pot, waiting for it to boil. You know, try to take time to do those things that you never have time to do. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What kind of energy will Virgo encounter in their love life? Virgo, you have justice. It's time to make a decision. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Wow, some of you feel really trapped in your relationship. Like, you're not doing well. You're not making any progress. You're stuck. I just want to show you guys this with this card. Stuck. Caged. Stuck. Not caged, but you might as well be. Okay, so you're in a place where you're stuck. You're not making any progress in life in general, but also in your relationship. And this could be in terms of just moving forward in general, making the decision to commit or leave. If you are with somebody, long-term relationship, you're kind of in a situation where it's like, perhaps y'all were about to split, but you made the decision to stay with each other with the intention and quote-unquote promise, if you will, that you're both going to equally work to make things better moving forward. But it's like y'all are trapped in the same cycle. You're not moving forward. That's not happening. The agreement you guys had, it's not, the contract is void, if you will. Justice tends to deal with contracts. So the contract is void. It's null and void. And speaking of that, some of you may be in a situation where you recently got married and you're like, oh fuck, I made a mistake. Like really quickly after it happened, like, oh fuck. And you may feel stuck because you already signed this contract and paperwork. So some of you may be seeking an annulment. Because it's like, okay, no, this is not good. This is not good. I need to get out of this situation before it gets worse, because this is not good. I feel like if you're single, you're not even really thinking about dating. Some of you who, single and not dating, I try to go over that. But now, it's not that, like, you're not dating by choice. You don't feel comfortable opening up to other people at this time. You just don't. Perhaps you are trapped by the way you feel about somebody else. Like, you can't really move forward with someone if you still carry this deep love for somebody else, because they're always going to be at the back of your mind. And it's like, why is this person always at the back of my mind, Let's get away from kind of the funky aspect of things. Some of you guys, like some of y'all, are going to be committing to moving forward, making that decision. Some of you will be signing that marriage contract. But I don't know. Maybe you should take a step back and think about that before you do. Like, really, really think about it. Like, really think about it. Because, think about if you've seen any red flags. All those little things that you shake off because it's like, it's little and everything else is great. Do you know how many serial killers and murderers carry that, guys? Like, they come in They have this facade of being great and wonderful, and then once they hook you, the reality comes out, the truth comes out. Because, like, say, if you're married, till death do us part. You're not going to leave me. And if you try, till death do us part. You know, so, like, be careful. Don't jump into anything. Don't jump into anything. But even some people who have been in longer term relations, some people can hold that mask up pretty well, especially if they're that type of person. So just kind of be careful. If you've seen these little red flags, just be careful. Be careful, you know. You don't want to overthink the situation, but you don't want to get so caught up in your emotions that you're not seeing the reality of things. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's see what is going on with Libra. Almost forgot to change the banner. Honestly, I forgot, or I thought I changed it. Okay, let's see what is going on with Libra over the next week. What kind of energy will Libra encounter over the next week? What's going on with my Libras? Okay, so Libra, you have the Ace of Cups. You're feeling very emotional. Every single emotion you feel is intense. Love, anger, sadness. It's just intense and overwhelming. Period. Period. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Libra. You guys, sometimes it's simple and direct. All right, let's see what's going on in Libra's love life over the next week. What's going on in Libra's love life over the next week? We have the Two of Pentacles. So Libra, you're very confused about your love life, about your relationship. 1 minute you want it, the next you don't. You know, some of you may be seeing multiple people, so you don't really, you're kind of juggling. You're kind of juggling both relationships, or in some situations, all the relationships. I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it, honestly. I just don't. If you're single and not dating, you're kind of going back and forth between the way you feel about that. 1 minute, you're open to it. Yeah, you know, you're open to meet somebody new. You're open to falling in love. The next, you're like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the chaos and drama that comes with having a relationship. No. But that doesn't change the longing. There is a longing for connection because you do feel all these emotions. It's like you want somewhere to put it. You have love to give. You're just not sure who to give it to. You know, you're not sure. You just have a lot of uncertainty right now. A lot of uncertainty. With some of you, this could be because you still have feelings for someone else. You know, this is another should I stay or should I go energy. You know, there is a choice that needs to be made that you're having a hard time making because you can see all the possibilities in this situation. 1 minute you're like, okay, I can deal with that. Next you're like, no, I can't deal with that. I need to deal with something else. So, yes, definitely be careful of being blinded by your emotions because this could happen very easily this week. Scorpio. All right, what is going on with Scorpio over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter over the next week? What's going on with my Scorpios? Scorpio, you have the Six of Wands. So if you've been in competition for something, you're going to stand out, and some of you will be very successful. If there is not immediate success, somebody's going to notice you. Somebody's going to take notice of you and what you're doing and what you're capable of. So you'll still get recognition for what it is that you're capable of achieving. Like somebody will recognize your value and worth. Like even if you're involved in a situation, like I can't help but think about like football or whatever, you know. So like if scouts come out, if you will, you know, some of them may be more focused on somebody else, and that person, you know, may end up signing a deal with said person, but there's somebody else, like even that person, they're still noticing, they're still paying attention to you, and this is going to lead you to opportunities in the future. Even if you don't get this opportunity, you will still be victorious because the opportunity that you do achieve is more suited to you. You may have to fight for recognition, but you'll get it. You will get it. All right, let's see what is going on in your love life, Scorpio. What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter in their love life over the next week? Okay, we have the Wheel. So things are changing in your relationships, making major shifts that are triggered by external events. Well, maybe not external events, it could be internal as well, internal things that shift. Either way, your relationship is changing, it's going in a different direction. For some of you, this is a good thing. For some of you, it's a bad thing. It really just depends on your situation, same energy, individual experiences. Those of you who are single and not dating, it's not necessarily by choice. You're making the choice to not date, but being single was not a choice. Something happened in your previous relationship that was out of your control and led to this. And since you're not really over that situation, you're not really trying to see anybody else right now. This could change. You know, you could come across somebody that brings out something in you that you didn't expect. But I think more than likely you're just trying to take a break from relationships at this moment because things just haven't been working out too well for you. All right, let's move on to Sagittarius. What is going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? What is going on with Sagittarius? Sagittarius, you too got the Six of Wands. So perhaps you've been dealing with a lot of conflict. I feel like you've been dealing with a lot of conflict, a lot of arguing, going back and forth. But I think whomever you're involved with when it comes to this, they will see your point of view. They're going to understand your perspective. You If there is a winner in this situation, it will be you. But it may take a lot of fighting for you to get there. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life. Sagittarius, what is going on in your love life over the next week? Sagittarius, you have the Queen of Pentacles, so boss moves. You are making boss moves in life that lead to you making boss moves in your relationship. You are in a good place mentally. You feel very confident in yourself, in your ability to function without depending on other people. I think over the years you have learned that you have fallen into this trap before, and you're learning from it, and you're starting to understand that you need to be okay on your own, and not be dependent on other people. Because I think there may be some people in some situations where your partner feels inadequate as a result of your success and your confidence. It could make your partner feel adequate and try to quote unquote knock you off your throne. I don't understand why people do that. Just, you're not even like, I don't know if you're even really consciously trying to make this person feel inadequate. I don't think you're insulting them for what they're not doing or not achieving. It's just they see you doing well. They feel like they should be in that role, and they may be acting out, which could cause issues. If you're single and not dating, you're totally okay with that. You are so okay with being single. You feel really good about yourself, about your life, about your ability to provide for yourself and your family. Dating is not a priority. You have choices. But it doesn't mean that you are going to take them. If anything, I think there's knowledge that can be gained from interacting with each one of these people, but that doesn't mean a romantic connection will be a result. I just think that maybe there might be something in the conversation that can really give you some perspective on some things, be it a situation where you finally have an epiphany, a positive epiphany, or a situation where you have an epiphany that helps you understand what has happened in the past. Either way, even if this energy is being used against you, like even if somebody is treating you funky because you got it going on, you're not gonna let it get to you. You're just gonna keep doing you and keep making boss moves. You're not gonna let your partner or anybody who's trying to be your partner make you feel less than. No, we don't need that. We don't need that in our lives, no. All right, let's see what's going on with Capricorn. What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? What's going on with my Capricorns? Capricorn, you have the King of Cups. So you're feeling very emotional, very loving, and you may be very expressive of this love to anybody you feel it for, friends, family, very strongly. Now, in some instances, you could be feeling extra sensitive. You could be feeling kind of moody because you're just so emotional. You're more emotional than usual, and unfortunately, some of you may self-medicate be careful with that. Don't overindulge. You know, I'm not trying to make any judgments. I'm just saying don't overindulge, because we don't want to something that you're doing for fun to turn into something that you're doing because your body needs it. Okay. Or feels like it needs it. Like you feel like you need it. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. What is going on in Capricorn's love life over the next week? What's going on with my Capricorns? Capricorn, you have boss energy too. You have the Queen of Pentacles too. So, I mean, you're in a situation where you're feeling very loving and affectionate towards your partner. Very loving and affectionate. And you want to take care of them. You want to make sure they have everything they need. You know, some of them are good, you know. Some of them don't really need you. And that may make you feel some type of way. Don't. People who are good on their own are actually some of the best people to have a relationship with, because there is less likely to be a codependency there that can turn toxic. Those of you who are single and not dating, you're totally okay with this. Totally okay with this. You've learned over the years that a relationship is not necessary for you to be happy. Yes, it would be nice, but sometimes, you know, be careful what you wish for. Some of you guys, it took you a while to learn this lesson of not depending on other people. Or not really needing other people's insight to create, to grow. You're not dependent on people. Some people may make you try to feel like you are, but you really aren't. You really aren't. You know, you're good on your own, but you really would like somebody to give your love to, somebody that you can do things for. You want a place to put all this love you feel. And those of you who want to date but don't have any interest, unfortunately for some of those people, they're going to get so caught up in their emotions that, again, they may lead to the whole self-medicating thing. But that is a very fine line, so be very careful with that, because you don't want to destroy what you have created up to this point. Okay. Let's move on to Aquarius. Let's see, what kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What's going on with Aquarius? All right, what is going on with Aquarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What's going on with Aquarius? Aquarius, you have the King of Pentacles. I feel like we've had the King and the Queen of Pentacles a lot in the readings this evening, but it's not a bad thing, because, you know, you're all you're focused on your stability. You're focused on being able to provide for yourself and others during the hard times. You know, you're really focused on your education and bettering yourself and bettering your education and career. You know, making boss moves. You're trying to move beyond your past. You're trying to rise above your past. But you know what? Your past was necessary because it led you here. all the chaos and all the negativity that has occurred in your past, it has led you here. You would not be here if it weren't for that. Like, those things were a necessary step to get you here. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What kind of energy is going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? What is going on with Aquarius? Aquarius, you have the Three of Swords. So you're dealing with some heartache in regards to your relationship, some hurt. Some of you are separating from your partner or the person that you are seeing or have been seeing for a while. Things are coming to an end, and it's not a pretty end. It's a very, very painful, excruciating end. Like, some of you may actually be feeling this pain in your chest. It may manifest in your chest. I want to say do not be afraid. It's not a heart attack, but I don't want you to not follow up on something when you possibly could be having issues with your heart. So if you are having consistent issues with your heart, definitely take the steps to run some tests to make sure that you don't have any type of heart disease or anything, like get you an EKG, all that good stuff. But yeah, some of you, you and your partner, you are breaking up. Now, there are some situations where you are in a relationship, but you and your partner can't be together right now, like you're separate from each other. And it sucks. It's hard for both of you to be so far from each other. It really is, because it's like, I want to say y'all are dependent on each other, but you're not at the same time. Like, y'all need each other, but y'all don't. So it's like you're good on your own, but you feel better when you have them. You feel like you're even better when you're with them. And so you kind of feel a little bit lost without them. Even though you're okay on your own, you're good on your own, just like internally, you just feel like their absence, it just makes you feel some type of way that you do not like. Those of you who are single and not dating, you are dealing with a lot of heartache from your past relationships, and this is really gonna make it hard for you to connect with anybody moving forward until you take the time to work to heal and work through this heartache and have understanding and closure. Now, you don't necessarily need to talk to the other person to get closure. Sometimes you just need to seek the answers within. All right. Out of my patient Pisces. What is going on with Pisces over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What is going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Two of Pentacles, so you're kind of confused. You may have a very important choice to make, but you're really confused. One moment it seems like this is a good decision. The next moment it seems like that is the better decision. It's just kind of, you're having a hard time. Some of you really have a lot going on in your life right now, and it's really hard to maintain it all. It's like you have a bunch of plates spinning, you got a bunch of plates spinning, and you got to keep them going, but it's very, very difficult. Somehow you're making it happen. You may be stretching yourself thin in the process, but you're still making this stuff happen. But yeah, if you have an important decision to make, you may be very uncertain, and don't make it until you are certain. I don't think you should. All right, let's see what is going on in Pisces love life over the next week. What is going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have Devil card here. So some of you are feeling extremely obsessive about your partner. This could be there's a fine line between feeling so strongly for somebody and desiring them so deeply and then being obsessive and possessive. It's a fine line, so be sure that you don't cross it. Some of you may be dealing with a very toxic relationship. There could be some sort of substance abuse that is involved, some sort of abuse, if not substance abuse. It's a very difficult situation, and you're having a hard time deciding whether or not to remove yourself from it because you just love this person so deeply. Those of you who may be single, you know, it may have a lot to do with this toxic behavior that you are exhibiting. Perhaps you have some stuff that you really need to deal with, because if you don't deal with it and you try to get into a relationship, like, you will manifest this energy of being controlling and possessive, and you know, it's not a good vibe. It's not a good vibe to be on, you know. But also be careful that you don't fall prey to being so lustful. So some of you, it may be easy, you may be easily tempted to hook up with somebody. So just kind of be careful. Don't make any rash decisions that you will regret later. Okay, so those are your readings for the next week. I hope they resonate, and I will, for accuracy purposes, of course, and I will see you guys next week, okay? Bye.